Hello, everyone. This is Linda Ferguson, and
K&B,
also known as,
Karen Wilson Bell.
and you have joined us for another episode of Platinum Prime for Life, where we share with you some of our strategies, tips, and tricks for living a Platinum Prime life. So, we're going to start out with what the topic is. So the topic, again, centers around friendship. This time, a different take from the last time we did an episode on friendship. And it has to do with a trip that Karen recently took where she was posting lots of pictures of herself, and she said, travel is so much better with friends. And I thought, so true. All right. So we're going to have Karen actually sing another song about friends for us to enjoy. Take it away, Karen.
Am I going to start off just playing it all by myself? I think you should maybe you could tell the story behind it first.
Sure. All right. So when I saw Karen's story, I thought of the Bette Midler song, You Gotta Have Friends. So I was curious, what are the full lyrics? Why did she write it? What is its meaning? And so first, I'm just going to read you what the lyrics are. The lyrics are, and I am all alone. There is no one here beside me. And my problems have all gone. There was no one to deride me. But you got to have friends. The feeling, oh so strong. You got to have friends to make that day last long. I had some friends, but they're gone. Something came and took them away. And from the dusk till dawn, here's where I'll stay. Standing at the end of the road, boys, waiting for my new friends to come. I don't care if I'm hungry or poor. I'm gonna get me some of them. 'Cause you got to have friends. La, 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 la. All right. Now we're going to kick it over to Karen with one more little underlying. What does it mean? What does this song mean? So Bette Midler wrote this song during the AIDS epidemic. And the lyrics, I had some friends, but they're gone. Something came and took them away, refers to that. She had a lot of friends in that community, and she lost a lot of friends during that time. But as time's gone on and we've all gotten older and wiser, and we're moving into probably some of the best years of our lives if we're doing it right, it pertains to the loss of friends, which increases the older you get. So you have to have friends. And as Bette Midler so nicely says it, the feeling's oh so strong. All right, and now you gotta have friends. Take it away, Karen.
Gotta have friends. La 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 la. Gotta have everybody sing friends. Everybody sing along. You gotta have friends. La 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 la.
Awesome. Thank you. Puts a smile on your face when you think about it, right? You gotta have
Yes.
friends.
Yeah.
All right. So we've gone over why that song came to mind when Karen was talking. And I'm going to let you tell her own story about her friends. And then we're going to look at how friendship actually helps us get through some of the less pleasant moments in our life. But first, Karen's story.
My gosh, when you said that helps friends help you get through the worst parts, it just flashed on me. This is not the story I was going to tell, but when my husband passed away, which in November would be 21 years ago, if it weren't for the friends, I'll never forget. My beautiful friend said she was not going to let me sleep alone that night after he passed, and she came to my house And in the big king size bed, she slept over on the side where Duncan would have been sleeping because she was not going to let me be alone. Now, I didn't really want her to do that because I felt like it was a great imposition on her, and she just insisted. And when you said, when we do lose people. Having birthdays is a great thing because every time you have a birthday, it's very good for your health because not everybody gets to have them. You know, Duncan didn't get to have anything beyond his 51st birthday, so it's a privilege, an honor, and why I tell people how old I am. I don't care if you know how old I am because it's an honor, an absolute privilege. Because I've lost so many friends that I thought would be here to help me celebrate my 100th birthday, and they're not gonna be around to help me celebrate that birthday. So friends are really, really, really valuable. And I have another prayer. I have a prayer. I've lost friends not just because they've passed on, but I've lost friends because they've chosen to end the friendship for whatever they imagined in their mind was a worthwhile reason to end a friendship. And I have this prayer that every friend that decides to leave me for whatever reason will one day come back and say, I'd like to rekindle our friendship. And so far, it's happened with all but one person that I can think of that hasn't done that yet. But it's a nice prayer, and I find it really comforting because friends I have no family. I have no family. I have no sons and daughters. I have no sisters or brothers. I have nobody. So I need friends, right? That's my tribe is my friends. And Linda, here's what's really peculiar. I feel like the people that I've been meeting on social media are genuinely becoming friends. I don't know them, but they respond maybe more than once. Maybe we start to have a dialogue and you start to sort of know that person and know where you align and where you don't align. And I have this notion that I have this small, I'm not a big social media person. I have quite a few friends, but not like a celebrity or something. But I feel like I have been developing a tribe of people who are genuinely my new friends. And yes, I don't know them, but I love them. And it's just so weird to me. I don't know if that's even really truly possible. Do you think it's possible to have real friends that you've never met with, face to face? Is that even possible? And how important is it? And maybe for some people, social just means it's you're there to be sociable. Not everybody is, but you're there to be sociable, right? And to meet new people. And then it's just a platform, another way, like going to a networking meeting or going to church or going shopping. Some people go shopping just because they're lonely and they want to go out and be around people. People need people. People, people who need people.
Right.
you know so am I crazy to think that maybe I actually have friends that I've never met?
No, I remember when I shared the story of it, at the time, it was my very best friend, and she was sidelined almost completely with COPD, pretty much on her deathbed. And I introduced her to Facebook. And suddenly, she sprang to life again. She became very active on social media. She had people that she'd met on Facebook over for different things. So they arranged to meet in real life.
Really?
IRL, right?
IRL.
Mhm. Uh, and she extended her life. I think it was another 7 years. She died ultimately of COPD and its complications, but man, social media just gave her a renewed community to talk to reach out to, and then people who were willing to come and help her when she needed help. They were like right in her neighborhood. So, for sure.
For sure, it's not impossible. We differ on this one particular topic. I love network marketing. I know you don't love it. In fact, maybe the opposite. But I've loved it for a long time. And I heard a person say over the weekend. I heard a person say, "You will not build a networking business if you're just relying on your friends." And that's probably true because who has enough friends to just build a big business? And so he said, your job is to go out and make a new friend every day. And I thought about that and I thought that isn't bad advice for people who don't do network marketing. You're networking you're building a network of people that you can communicate to, and this is a good thing. So I have a new pledge. I would like to make a new acquaintance every day, in the likelihood that maybe that acquaintance would become a friend. And you don't know who's going to be the friend. You don't know. Maybe that person doesn't even like, I mean, I'm sure there are people who just don't cotton to me, and there's probably not everybody liked Elvis. Not everybody liked Frank Sinatra. How could I expect everybody to like me? I don't. Well, I actually do. I actually do expect him.
Truth be told, yeah,
It's just, I don't know. That's how I go about the world. I'd rather imagine that everybody would like to be friends. It isn't. It just isn't true. So networking, social network is not any different than networking IRL. It is real life. It is real life. You're making new friends, and I think we should each make a new acquaintance every day. So maybe somebody will come and see what we're talking about here. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Think about your winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you got to do is call. I'll be there, yes I will. I've got a friend. And you call them your flat tire friends. They're the people that will come and when you call them at 3 a.m. and say you're out on Route 72 and with a flat tire, and that they're going to come and take you wherever you needed to go or help you fix the flat or whatever. And got a friend. It's really good to know. Ain't it good to know? It's good to know. It's good to know you have a friend. It's really good. It's good for your health. Makes you
absolutely.
makes you have more confidence in life to know that you've got somebody has your back.
Well, let's actually talk about someone who's a mutual acquaintance to us both,
Okay.
who lives not too far from you, and she's gotten older and she's had quite a few health problems along the way. So she pretty much is bedridden, but she's a larger than life person. She's on social media pretty much all day long. And when she needs help, when she needs someone to come over or she's lonely, she is not shy about asking people to come over and visit her, asking people to come help her go shopping or
Yeah.
to a doctor's appointment,
Yeah.
and
It's
people
amazing.
show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I had
that
to
is a
think for
good
a
point.
while because I have several people who are bedridden who are friends of mine who don't live far from me, and that's sad. That's not good news. Hey guys, listen. I'm all about health and wellness, and I'm 81 years old, and I'm vigorous, and I'm like at the airport the other day. Yeah, on Sunday I was flying, and I walked 13,000 steps, which with a brand new knee. Well, it's a year old knee. That was a huge win for me, and I had vigor, and I was, even at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I have enough energy to go another day of traveling. That you've got to start. That's just an aside. I'm sorry, I know I got sidetracked there, but I was thinking about the person you're talking about, and I was thinking about the other two people that are bedridden. Is like, okay, make some choices now so that you don't have that happen to you. I just wanted to put in a plug for good
Make
for
some
taking your.
choices so that you lessen the probability. Some people
Yeah,
will have
listen.
that happen to them no
Yeah.
matter what they do.
Well, you
So,
don't know if you're gonna. This one person fell and broke their arm, so you don't know if you're gonna fall.
right. And
But
if
if you,
you're
but if you,
older, that can be devastating.
it
Just a
can,
break.
but you can lessen the likelihood of falling even by strengthening. Anyway, I don't know why. I'm sorry, I got off track of the topic of friends. But if I'm a good friend to you, I'm going to urge you to take good care of yourself.
There. And you
I
are a good
am.
friend, right? You're a good
Yeah,
friend.
I hope so.
Yeah. It is your message. Your message is, I'm 81. I'm getting younger. Ask me how I'm doing that. And then you share what took you to how you're doing right now. And I've got to say, overriding the method you're using is a positivity that you approach life, the purpose of doing that. But let's go back to friendship. So here's a really cool quote from Balthazar, I don't even know, Gracian. And I will put this quote in our show notes. Friendship multiplies the good in life and divides its evils.
Oh, that's nice. That's a
So
beautiful
true.
quote. Yeah, that's
It
a
is a
great
good
quote.
one.
Yeah.
So for me, friendship, I'm very much centered around family. That's like my bigger group. And within family, I have my husband who is now my new best friend. And we just share everything. So that's good in a marriage, right? It's a
Yeah.
later marriage. Haven't even celebrated my second wedding anniversary yet. But we quickly discovered that we like each other, we like similar things, we go on walks, we go places. It's lovely. And so it makes the things we do together really fun. And then the challenges easier to take. And there've been a few challenges, not a lot, but having a friend within a relationship, I think, is critical. So we're going to give some tips, as always, in a handout on how to build and cement friendships and how to be a really good friend. They're pretty much, most of them are things that you can think of. They're logical. But one thing that um, comes up a lot is I have friends from high school that I could reach out to today and they're still friends. But when I think of them, I haven't caught up with those intervening years at all. And so much stuff happens, right? So I think of them the way they were, not the way they are. And it's actually nice to reach out to your friends periodically just to kind of keep them up to date. What do you think, Karen? Do you do that?
I have some people that are from my life. The friend I've had the longest is Kay, and Kay and I have known each other since I was 14 years old. So that's a long time. If I'm Yeah, that's a long time. Like 70, 65 years of friendship. And we talk about every maybe 2 or 3 times a year and catch up. And I'm just so grateful to that friend. She's the one who actually got me into show business. She became a working singer. She worked for as an opening act for Al Hurt down in New Orleans, and invited me to. She sent me a train ticket. I'd never been out of Kansas City. She sent me a train ticket to come down to New Orleans and watch her sing at the Al Hurt Club, and that was what gave me the idea that, well, maybe I could do that too. I wonder if I could do that. And then she had a job in Kansas City at the Colony Steakhouse, and she had to go someplace, and I got to fill in for her at the Colony Steakhouse, and that was how my she's responsible for me even being in this business, which has given me a life, wonderful world travels, and so we talk probably at least 3 or 4, maybe 4 times a year, and it's like no time has passed at all, and it's nice to have memories. And then my other friend Rita, I met when I was 17 in college, and we became roommates, and we've been friends for all these years. So I have those. Rita and Kay are my long, steadfast, love them. I don't live anywhere near them. Kay lives in California. Rita lives in Mexico. Uh, so I don't see them very often, but
Mhm.
what the heck? They are friends. They are ride or die friends. They couldn't come help me change a flat in the middle of the night, but they'd be there for me in any other way.
I have
And
to
I,
look at that term, ride or die friends. It's used
yeah,
a lot,
yeah.
ride or die friends. You blipped out for just a moment there, I think, and notice probably came on your phone. That's one of the liabilities of recording on a phone, but
Well, I
can you
had it on
resume,
do not
please?
disturb. I told it do not disturb, but it was an alarm telling me that it was time for me to post something on social media. I have alarms throughout the day to
I got
remind me that I should post something, and I can't turn the alarm. I didn't think to turn the alarms off, so I just ignored it because we're posting.
no problem. I just wanted to let you know that's why Karen blipped out there for a moment. Her phone decided it had something better to do for just a moment, but she's back with us. So, friendship and health. From the Harvard study of adult development, one of the world's longest running happiness studies, good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. That's from Dr. Robert Waldinger from Harvard. So I definitely agree. Good relationships, so friends fall right in there, keep us happier and healthier.
Yeah.
Good to know. So you got to have friends.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough friends, you got to work on that. So as we age, though, friendships evolve. Some friends move away from us, others get ill and die. And sometimes we're on the opposite side of something that we each feel strongly about, which affects the friendship.
Oh, that's something that has been only in the last maybe 8 years or so, six or so years, where people have lost friendships because of um, opinions that are not shared. That's a shame.
Hmm.
Just a real shame. I have friends who don't agree with me at all on certain topics. You can imagine what those topics might be. But I have friends that we don't agree, but we manage. We don't talk about the things we don't agree about. We ignore that
That's
because the friendship
exactly.
is just too valuable.
That's right. Yeah. And even within families, you'll experience that.
Yeah, that's right.
So the one thing that can become awkward is if you go through a divorce. And that is like a weird situation, especially if the divorce wasn't mutually agreed on and everybody stayed friendly. Both my husband and I are divorced. Now, I work really, really hard at maintaining good relationships within a family, which includes our ex partners. So, my husband loves to have big holiday events. So we have a big Thanksgiving, we have a big Christmas event, and then he and I are both born in July, so we have a big birthday event. So those are the three big events for us during the year. And when he first got divorced and he was alone, he still had those events. So reached out to a mutual friend, so it was a family friend, to have one of those events, and it created an upset. His wife at the time, even though she initiated separating, was very upset that he would reach out to what she considered her friend to help put on this big event. Like, how dare you? And they had to work through it. And they did, and everything's fine. And she comes to all the big events with us. But at the time, it was like, hey, it's more awkward if just one of the people in the relationship is the friend creator, as the social director and who gathers all the friends around. It actually creates a challenging thing. So, when that happens, when you're losing friends there, maybe you're the person who never initiated friendships. And so, when the divorce or relationship split up, you have suddenly no friends. What do? You read the handout we're going to offer to you.
That's a good idea. I like that. I like that. I had friends that were divorcing, and I liked both of them so much. I knew the wife better. She had been my friend for a lot longer, and I met him because she introduced me to her husband. But I made it very clear: I'm not losing either one of you in this divorce. I am going to be a friend to both of you. I need to put you on warning right now. Do you understand this? And I'm not going to talk to you about the other person. Is that okay? Okay, we've made an agreement. I'm not losing people, friends, just because you guys are changing your lifestyle.
That's great advice. I love that advice. And actually, if you do it right up front, then there are no hurt or wounded feelings.
It
So the
didn't mean that they didn't try to pump me for information about the other,
I know. Oh man, I hate
but
that.
I resisted. I was very honorable most of the time.
It's really we'll have to do you oh, yeah, you were divorced before, weren't you? We'll do an episode on
Well,
divorce.
I had two husbands before the real one, and I considered that they were test runs, test drive. And they taught me what it was like a manual on what not to do. So you learn on the first two, and then so third time was a charm, and I met my he was my heartmate, my soulmate, my life, my many lives times partner that was the real deal. So yeah, I had been divorced. That's true.
Well, the whole point of talking about divorce and friends and, how you can lose friends is the friendship landscape changes with time. And the older you get, the faster you lose friends. And that's really, really unfortunate. But it's something that you live with. And again, the earlier quote, friends can amplify the good times and help lessen the evils in life, just is so true.
So
And
would it
so
So would it be a good idea every time you lose a friend, which is heartbreaking, you should it's like when you lose your favorite pet and then everybody wants you to get another pet and you don't want to, but
yeah,
maybe getting another friend, maybe if you conscientiously strove to meet some new people in your life or to befriend somebody, the best way to get a friend is to be a friend to somebody.
yes,
You know,
it's true.
and that I mean, just go be a friend somewhere, help somebody. That's a great way to get a friend. And so maybe really quickly not replace, but in the terms of quantity, if you have a ledger, you know, okay, you got a debit over here on this side, you better add another friend in there to keep the ledger even. I don't know.
Tha that's a concept, it's not one that I think better would be to reach out to your circle of friends and strengthen that circle, become even better within your group, because as time goes on, we all have more needs. It's not just, "Oh, they're out there, they're gonna need something," then maybe they get sick or whatever. But the older you get, the more having a friend means something. And, there was a point, a couple of years where I lived in a community where there were mostly older people there, and having to look out for one another within the community was something that really struck me. It was, "This is our group. We're surviving in a neighborhood." And they didn't necessarily all like each other, but what I can say is they all looked out for one another, knowing that as time evolved, there were more widows and widowers, there were more health issues, there were more incapacitations of the people that lived there. So others would just step into the void and say, "Great, I'll go shopping for you," or "I'll take you to your doctor's
Yeah,
appointment,"
yeah,
or so
that makes a lot
just,
of sense.
what is it called? Circling the wagons, right? Protecting your friendship,
Yeah,
protecting your friends
yeah.
is lovely. But it is never too late to make new friends, ever. And so we have a great handout for you on this,
We
how
do.
to do that.
Well,
All
I've
right.
got something
So,
before we finish. I have can I sing one more time? Can I
I
sing
love it
one?
when you sing, Karen.
Well,
Absolutely.
this is I want to do this to finish up. And it's from a very reliable source. It's from the Toy Story. That's a great place to get good quotes is Toy Story. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the problems run ahead and miles and miles from your nice warm bed, just remember what you heard Carol said. You got a friend in you. You got a friend in so
I love it. And you have a friend in us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week at Platinum Prime for Life. And we will see you again next week. But in that week, go out and hug a friend. Take care. Bye.